Hello everyone, this is Ajay from the Chess Freaky, and today you'll be looking at the game between Vishwanath and Anand and Kasparov late back in 1996. Um, yeah, in this game, Vishwanath and Anand was playing white and Kasparov was playing black. And I'm going to cut short their names. I'll call Vishwanath and Anand Vishy and Garry Kasparov Garry. So we should start out with, e4, um, uh, and then Gary responded with the Sicilian defense, a very common, uh, uh, a very common thing played with between them both, a very common opening played between them both. Yeah, this is the kind of setup, and now Gary responded with the a6, just to um, prevent the bishop from attacking the king. You all must have known the Sicilian defense, a6. Then bishop to e3, then a draw variation, and then knight to g4. Uh, After the game, she said that he was really surprised by the move knight to g4 because his preparation for the match was d7, g7 because he never saw Gary playing knight to g4 in this kind of opening. So knight to g4, things went bad for Vishy, but he slowly recovered. And then bishop to g5, pinning down the pawn on e7 to the queen. Then h6. No one would have. I mean, the maybe the pawn wants to open up some lines, but it's blocked from the bishop coming and taking the queen. So h6, and then bishop to h4, and then g5. G5 was a very good option. Well, if the g3 square would be blocked, which he would have not played such a move. Then bishop to g3, and then bishop to g7. Yeah, you can see it's having nice the bishop is eating away the nice dark square diagonal. Bishop to g7. Yeah, almost played move, but the pawn structure will not be like this in any of Kasparov's game. Most probably a pyramid or something like that. After bishop to g7, Anand played bishop to e2. Um, Probably, this is not the correct time to play bishop to e2. But most probably it should find a way to get rid of this pawn on g5. You can see this pawn on g5 because it's taking away uh, because it's taking away the head h4 and the f4 squares away from the bishop. So the bishop is kind of pinned down, not exactly pinned. I mean, it can't move anywhere now. A really nice setup for Garry Kasparov to play. After bishop to e2, h5. It is a good option though. Um, Probably thinking of bringing it to h4 and threatening the bishop now. You know, Gary. I mean, we should not find any nice moves to play. In fact, uh, he with his bishop he went for g4 square. I think he just thought that with uh, the pawn, Gary would capture with the pawn, but he didn't. So he captured with his bishop. So it is bishop x d4, bishop x d4, and then f3 came into consideration now. Yeah, f3 was quite a strong move. Mm, yeah, f3 and bishop d7. Yeah, d7 was a strong move. I mean, its opening lines up. If it just goes to c8, it just has one a light square diagonal. Better to have two light square diagonals instead of just one long one. So bishop to g7 and bishop to f2. Yeah, that it was pretty strong idea now. Bishop to f2. Bishop to f2 and knight to c6. Now this is a late development of knight. Now it's close game. Yeah, the good time of development for the knight. Good that it kept Gary kept one knight into consideration and acted upon it. And now after knight to c6, queen to d2 came into consideration now because eyeing down on the g5 square probably to have a good to have a dark square diagonal under its control. And this is the time in which he just regained his position. Queen to d2 and knight to e5. Knight to e5 was not expected. Bishop just could have gone for the g5 square, but if he must have if Gary played a move like f6, he has to retreat his queen back. So after knight to e5, castle on the king side. Now castle was not such a strong idea, but it was yes because now black did not castle yet, and the rook on the h file is really dangerous, and she has to keep in mind that he does not give up the h7 pawn, otherwise the king is under a lot of trouble. So queen to d2, knight to e5, and then castles, and then a move comes d4. D4 was a very good move in fact because once white captures, black can recapture on the g4 square and then have the control of the h2 square, which is very dangerous for white to play. Now the mid game had started now. This was the when he castled, this was the 15th move. Now g4. Now in fact, Vishy played f4. Not a really bad move in fact, but Gary said that his preparation for the match was different because he had not expected f4 because the pawn structure was breaking up. So after f4, knight to c4. Sorry, knight to c4. Knight to c4. Yep, not losing any. I mean, not losing any. This not deactivating the knight because activate the knight and just keep it. Don't deactivate it by sending it back. Don't retreat the knight. That's what Gary says. Attack, attack, attack. So queen to e2 now. Which he says you cannot find any possible moves for the queen now because the queen was kind of pinned down because if the knight comes to d2, there'll be a really big problem. So at some point he wanted to play bishop to e3, I think, and or he had to make the black knight retreat. So attacking the black knight, that was a really good move. Queen to e2 and rook to c8. Rook to c8, yeah, quite a strong idea. But he cannot castle now because Gary cannot castle now. As you can see, the black rook has control of these squares, so it'll be a pretty bad idea to castle. I mean, he should have castled on the queen side, waited for some better opportunity, some better move to protect the knight of them. So after rook to c8, b3. b3 just to drive with the knight. Two attackers and one defender. It was a huge battle. After b3, knight to a3. Knight to a3. Yes, knight to a3 was not quite expected. Not quite expected because he could have played knight to b6, but maybe getting at some point he could have played a4. The main problem was he not have in the end game was he not have control of the a4 square. So he should have played knight to b6, so that a4 can come into, at some point he can play a4 too, because uh yeah, the queen was uh, um yeah, I'll tell you all those in the end game right now. Afterwards, after after knight to a3, mm, Vishwanath and Anand played knight to d5. Yeah, mm, a pretty good move. Can't find any fault with it. A really good move, in fact. Knight to d5 really helped him. Then e6. I mean, it's really irritating to have knights sitting on their head and then eyeing down two squares, which are two central squares that aren't exactly central, but the e7 and c7 squares, which are the most important right now for black. Knight d5, e6, then knight to b4. Um, knight to b4 attacking the rook was a really good idea. Attacking the rook. Uh, sorry. He played knight to b4. Yeah, I suppose knight to b4. Yeah, he played knight to b4, and then queen to a5. A5 was really a strong idea. I mean, mm, particularly um, did not help him at the end game. He should have played the queen to e7, a pretty strong move right now. But he played the queen to a5, and now queen to e1. Queen to e1, I mean, that's not exactly a pin because the rook can always recapture the queen if the black queen takes the white queen. So then h4. Now, as you know, if the queen is in a2, it could have captured the pawn on g4, and now if white plays h3, it's going to become really tough for white for black because there'll be a double pawn, and the rook will have difficulty in coming down the h file. So that's a really good opportunity for white. After h4, bishop to e3, probably protecting the knight from close. The choking. Bishop to e3. This I don't know, but bishop to e3 I found it a bit funny. Now h3, then g3. In fact, I was really surprised why didn't he just capture it. H3 was quite a good idea. Getting protection from the queen, getting defended from the queen. H3, g3, and then knight to b5. So knight to b5. This is a game. This is the half point of the game. I will show you the next part of the game in my another video. I've covered 24 moves. Another 25 moves I'll show you in the next video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for watching my video. Please subscribe. Bye.